me that before until I came here, and every time I come here, I get that question. So I have kids, and my kids are all born after the year 2000. So they don't understand how great what life was back in the 90s. And maybe some people in the room can be with me on this, but back in the 90s, you could actually make fun of people. It was like cool back then. Do you remember that? Now, I'm not saying we should go back to that, but you know, it was pretty great while we had it. I was in the car the other day. My daughter, she says to me, "Why do they call it rolling down the window?" Because, you know, she's never seen a hand-cranked window. And so I explained to her what it was, but then I was like thinking about this. You know, back in the 90s, we were like cavemen with, you know, hand-crank windows. And I remember we didn't even have air conditioning in a car until I was older. But she is like, you know, "Dad, my butt is lukewarm." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I didn't preheat your throne for you," right? This is what it's like for kids today. When I was a kid in the 90s, we had a cereal that we used to eat. And it was called Raisin Bran. Maybe you're familiar with it. You know, their slogan is 2 scoops of raisins. So I want you to picture, if you will, a cereal so bad that the people at Kellogg's are like, "You know what's going to make this better? 2 scoops of raisins." Like, what was in it before, you know? Like, what, gravel? It was, anyway. We ate that quite often. So, okay, so let me tell you, this is a weird true story, and I don't know if it'll resonate, but I'm going to give it a try. Back in the year 2000, I was doing missionary work. I was helping a young Marshallese couple from the Marshall Islands fill out a wedding license. And they didn't speak English very well, and so I was translating it for them into Marshallese. And I get to the question on the marriage license application that says, "Are the 2 of you related?" And I was just going to skip it, because you wouldn't, right? I mean, then I thought, well, why don't I just ask him? So I asked him in Marshallese, "Are the 2 of you related?" And the man looks at me, and I am not making this up. He looks me right in the eye, and he says in English, he says, "Yes, she is my sister." What? So I'm like, okay, am I about to help them go down this weird road? Like, this is not what I'm trying to do here, right? So I learned 2 things that day. First of all, you know, the Marshallese word for sister is the same as their word for first cousin. So that was good to find out. The second thing is that first cousins are legal in 46 states. So, you know, that was working out. That was just fine. I see some of you out there Googling that really quick, right? No, it's fine. He's like, "Well, we like the same pizza. It's cool." All right. Note on that one. Okay. So this time of year, I get a rumbly tummy often. So you guys getting sick this time of year? I'm never happy about the norovirus. You get sick. So you like to have the privacy of your own home when you have a rumble in your tummy, but, you know, you don't want to deal with the aftermath. So I get this idea. I was like, why don't I just go down to the 7-Eleven, right, and let them deal with it? It's like a 2-minute drive. So, you know, I jump in the car, I drive out there, and I walk in. I'm like, "Hey, Rakesh." I'm a little sad to see that it's Rakesh because, you know, the guy's working nights so he can pay for seat warmers for his kids. But I go ahead straight to the back, and I bust open the door, and somebody already had this idea, apparently. There's like cockroaches wearing biohazard suits, you know, it was like a crime scene in there. So I went to the library, and you know, the library is like the quietest place on earth, so you can really hear the tummy rumble. It's fine, you just don't make eye contact on your way out. So, all right, no one didn't land, that's fine, I'll try another one. So, have you ever seen the movie Chronicles of Narnia? And in the movie, the kid sells out his family for Turkish Delight. Have you seen this scene? Have you ever tried Turkish Delight? It's like soap rolled in sugar, right? I don't know who thought this was good. So when I tried Turkish Delight, I was so upset, I went ahead and drafted a letter to C.S. Lewis. Turns out he's dead, so he never got it. But my wife, she comes to me and says, "We got to get this Turkish Delight. The kids love it." And I was like, "We don't like it. Last time we bought it, we ended up throwing it all away." And she's like, "Well, that was because it wasn't good." I'm like, "Yeah?" You know, I would not sell out my family for Turkish Delight, but do you know what I would sell them out for? Oreos, right? But you guys are with me on that.